Welcome, welcome, welcome back to a special edition of Canelo. Baby, you want, baby, I know that. Alvarez versus Terence, Tap Boy Bud Crawford. The weigh-in has completed. Your boy Ego, I'm going to take you through it. Let you know what I think, give you guys my insights in this video. Stay tuned. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Throughout this video, you will see clips of the weigh-in and such, and I'm gonna jump right into it. Canelo looks better at the scale. Does this mean anything in the fight? We will find out tomorrow. But Saul Canelo Alvarez definitely looks like the more natural super middleweight, and he looks a lot more filled out. A lot of people sent me this picture, and I'm going to try my best to explain this to you in the best way I know how to. So please follow along. The weigh-in that you've seen with the two fighters was called a ceremonial weigh-in. This is basically just for show, meaning the fighters have already made weight earlier in the day and they're just doing it for the cameras. So the fighters have had hours to replenish, to rehydrate, to eat. So the weigh-in wasn't until 6 p.m. my time, Pacific Standard Time. So instead of keeping the fighters, when you're losing weight, when you're doing a weight cut, you're essentially dehydrating your body and flattening out. So it could be dangerous. You know, weight cuts can be very dangerous, especially if you do them wrong. So instead of making star fighters who have a big fight tomorrow wait till 6 p.m. because the fight's on the West Coast where I'm at, wait 6 p.m. and hold that weight, they weighed in earlier and then recorded their weight, hit the weight, and then they're free to eat. So the version you see, aka the ceremonial weigh-in, is hours after they've already weighed in and recorded their weight. So early in the morning, they weighed 167.5 exact, both of them. And here are the pictures. Again, they both weighed the same weight exactly, 167.5. They made it underneath the 168 limit. Canelo looks very lean and he looks lighter than he has been in some of his other fights. Crawford, he also looks very good on the scale, right? On the scale, because your body's flattened out, your body's more dehydrated, you have to hit a lower number. You might not have been able to consume liquids or drink alcohol. Just think about when you first wake up, you've been fasting. You haven't put anything in your body for 8 hours plus or whatever, and you're at your smallest. But then throughout the day, you're gonna eat, put some carbs in your body, drink some liquids, you'll start to fill out, right? So just picture that. These fighters just woke up, hit the scale in the morning, took a pee, and then now this is what they look like. So a lot of people got gassed up by this picture, but hours later, when they did the ceremonial weigh-in, let's see where the fighters actually rehydrated to. Ego Weight Watchers, aka EW, where I give you a look into the fighter lifestyle before, after, and progress picks. Right off rip, Canelo looked better at the ceremonial weigh-in in my book. The left-hand picture is early in the morning at the official weigh-in, which I just went over. The picture on the right is him after being able to consume liquids, food, whatever he did. I'm not with Canelo, so I don't know what he ate or drank or whatever, but that's where he's at. And given that he's been at this weight or close to for about 9 years, his body naturally start to pick up, and you see his muscles start to round and fill out, where he just looks big, like kind of like Mike Tyson type of body type, which is great for boxing. He's short, kind of compact, his neck is thick, shoulders look broad, chest and arms look big, but his six-pack is pretty pronounced. He's filled out. So I really like where Canelo got down to for this particular fight. Looked like he was working on speed, and you know, you heard the people saying Bud's gonna sleep him and Bud's way too good for him. Canelo's a prideful person, so it looks like he had a great training camp to eliminate that. Now let's take a look at Bud Crawford. Full disclosure, I don't like what I'm seeing as much as with Canelo. Don't have a horse in the race. I'm just keeping it real. Because you've seen early in the AM, Bud looked like an action figure. He looked jacked. That's when he's dehydrated. Whatever he did in the course of those hours before the weigh-in, the official weigh-in, he obviously replenished, but he looks kind of big, like almost to the point where he looks bigger than Canelo, right? His abs don't look as defined. His arms look big, but not like defined and shredded. Like basically the shape we've grown accustomed to seeing Bud Crawford at. He just looks like bigger. He almost looks like somebody who is like big and they don't know how to work out, or like penitentiary kind of big, but you don't do cardio. And I'm not saying Bud didn't do any cardio. I'm just saying the transformation for me is more impressive with Canelo Alvarez, because he just looks like the more complete super middleweight. And I know some people are going to get offended. What do you mean? Oh my gosh, Eagle, how could you? But this should be the case. This is what I told you from the beginning. Weight classes exist for a reason. Moving up in weight is a process. And kind of this is what happens when you are having to hit a number on a scale. You do it the best way you can, which a lot of people go the route of, hey, let me just bulk up, get as big, and then do a similar weight cut like I did in the other weight classes. And then I'll cut down and make the weight on the scale. But Crawford does not look like a true super middleweight. He looks inflated. He looks soft. He looks like he has a lot of water weight. Here's another angle of Terence Crawford. And, you know, the Bud Buddies, they can say whatever they want. But to me, Crawford does not look like a true super middleweight. When the division has big 6-foot+ guys like Diego Pacheco, guys who are jacked like Christian and Billy, you know, Canelo looks like he's filled out. So Bud looks like he's almost like playing a role. Like, hey, I bulked up, like almost for a movie role or something. It doesn't look natural. And again, normally we're used to seeing Bud completely shredded and completely six-packed up and all that, and his muscles don't look as defined. And it makes me wonder, what is the positioning, or what is the aim and the motivation for Team Crawford? Are they hoping that this is a quick night and they're trying to use the size advantage and outmuscle the naturally bigger person who's been fighting higher? Like, are you expecting a quick knockout, so to speak? Because for me, I told you this from the beginning, I would have liked to see Crawford come in almost as light as possible without it being a detriment. Like, not saying 150s, but just come in pretty much small. Like, if you weighed in at 164, that'd be okay. You know what I mean? Because everyone keeps talking about Crawford's skill. For me, the best way for him to utilize his skill is to remain fast, agile, and be able to move around, and also sustain him. And it has to be sustainable so he could do it for potentially 12 rounds. The more weight you put in and the more like mass you put on, especially in a small period of time, I feel like that's going to require more blood flow, circulation, oxygen. You might feel good for a couple rounds, but what happens if you can't hurt Canelo or stop him? Then you have to, in the second half of the fight, you got to be ready to continue taking shots from the big person and be agile and be able to move. Because if your arms get arm weary, because Canelo likes to punch arms, and, you know, if you start feeling the weight and the lag and the, you know, the lactic acid and all that build up in your legs, and you become a sitting duck, and because let's be real, a lot of people keep talking about Mayweather. Crawford has nothing to do with Mayweather. Crawford has never really fought like a mover. He's right there in front of you. Canelo arguably has a better defense than him. You know, people are acting like Crawford is this Pernell Whitaker, Mayweather slick style, but he's a great fighter, but that's not really his bag. He never really runs from the fire. He usually runs to it, which has acquitted him well. But against somebody with added muscle, potentially a loss of speed, Canelo does have a better chin than Crawford, in my opinion. You know, it seems like an uphill battle, but we'll see what happens. But the way Bud looked, I thought he looked bloated and a lot bulkier than I expected. You know, and again, this is not a bodybuilding competition where I would imagine Crawford and his team would want to like be bigger than Canelo Alvarez. But for whatever reason, from the pictures and the videos and the footage, it looks like that's the direction they went. And this also could have been from the beginning, starting off too high of a weight. So once you did this like 180 cut, you shredded down to 167.5, then your body is naturally going to balloon back up to what its expected rate is. You know, like, man, if you've been training at 186, he at one point showed a picture of him being 186. So maybe his body ballooned back up. I don't know. But for me, Canelo looks a lot more of a super middleweight. He looks light. He looks trim. He looks muscular, especially with the rehydration. And he just looked a lot more filled out and more defined and better. And I think that could serve a fighter well, as opposed to muscles that look like water weight, like you just hit a number on the scale and you just start eating. And now you don't even look like how you customarily look in weigh-ins. Let me know what you guys think from the weigh-in. If you think I'm overreacting or reading too far into it, we're going to see in a short period of time. Ego Weight Watchers, aka Ew, I've been doing this for a while. I told you, I like Crawford, how he looked versus Madrimov. He looked completely jacked, dialed in, shredded, but with added size. Now it looks like he added size, but he just looks rounder as opposed to bigger with still shreds and, you know, just completely dialed in and no loose skin, no love handles and stuff like that. It looked like he just put on weight. A lot of guys have done that with Canelo Alvarez. Guys like Jermell Charlo, guys like Jose Cito Lopez, guys like Shane Mosley, where they're fighting Canelo Alvarez at a weight that's not really their best weight, and they haven't really properly acclimated to the weight in many of those cases. So they're hitting the number on the scale, but at what cost? We're going to find out. For more boxing news, subscribe. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.